I'm Andrew Funderburg, the founder of Fundy Software, and our goal is to help everybody make an extra 50K this year.
Hi, I'm Seth Kerechanin. I'm on a photography team with my wife, Seth and Beth, wedding photography in Akron, Ohio. And Fundy, I am happy to talk about this new product. Let's get going.
Yeah, so our goal this year is to help every photographer make an extra $50,000 this year, whether you're starting at zero with print product sales or you're starting at 100K, right? How can we add another 50K on top? Because we all know inflation has not been kind to the families this last year or two.
Yeah. This number I think it's scary to new photographers right off the rip. 50K sounds like a lot, but I'm with you. This is completely plausible. I just checked my books, Andrew, and last year I made over 37K and I only did 16 weddings, all of which with the help of Fundy Software. So I'm eager to learn more about where we're headed this year, your goals, and how we can teach people to do this. So tell me about, get going. What's the concept of Fundy? How can new photographers grab this and get going?
So the concept with the new version 11 is simply how can we get the absolute beginner who's never designed an album before, never designed a wall art before, never designed a card design before, how can we have them retouch all of their photos and get a full album design, maybe 10 or 12 wall art collages, and a thank you card in under 2 minutes?
Yeah, so the premise of this, you were saying Fundy's goal is we want to showcase more prints, design more, which you're going to tell us about, and of course, present more, which are all three things that we've been doing for going on a decade now. I love this process. I love you. And I love where it's like completely revolutionize our business, both for our weddings, portraits, seniors. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about V11. So talk about how we can showcase the prints more.
So I think there's two different ways we can showcase prints more, and that's why I'm really excited to have you on, because you and Beth are working photographers. So there's two ways that we can showcase prints more. One, from the photographer, how we talk about print, how we take photographs of every album that comes in, put it on the floor, take some pretty photos, and then deliver it to our clients and by hand, and then maybe get a picture of them or ask them to take a selfie with their album and send back to us. So we're showcasing that more, and how we talk about print. So before I dive into the next part, which is how you can use Fundy Designer to help you showcase more print without having to buy sample albums, which is getting expensive, but we'll get back to that. But what are some of the questions you ask your clients around print and albums and wall art, etc.?
Yeah, so Funny, this is huge. We had to restructure our entire brand. We used to be a shoot, what is it? Remember the shoot and share?
Yeah,
the shoot brand was, I don't have time for albums. I don't have time to service my clients. So it's just take your JPEGs, please leave me alone, and I'll just go back to working weddings, which are, as they're long, they're strenuous, and so the only time we can actually ever make money is when we're clicking the buttons of our camera. And now, it's almost like clicking the button of my camera is the first stage of my business, and then really showcasing and giving my clients a more full experience is what we really focus on. And this is all the way down to the way our website looks, the way we talk to our couples. It's in any of our marketing sheets and brochures, is we just focus on not only photos, but we focus on the experience they're gonna get with getting a book. And of course, when we deliver this book in person, we record our clients first opening the book, looking at the book. And so they're experiencing their story in real time. And it starts with the first phone call. It's not so much like, hey, hire me. It's a bit more like, what are we going to do with these photos? And so we get their mindset cooking from the get-go that if you're going to hire our brand, you're going to get printed stuff, and we're going to walk you through that with Fundy. So I open up Fundy right in front of all my clients every time in the meetings after the wedding. And I'm not selling them a book. We are collaborating and telling their story in an album, and they just eat it up. They have smiles on their face. They love it.
And that's great. So the one thing you said, and this is the question that all of the high earners in the Fundy Storyteller group on Facebook use, is how do you plan to use these photos, or how do you plan to show off these photos? And the guys, I don't know, I never thought of that. And that's the point.
They don't. Absolutely. They're just searching for a photographer. You have to put their mind in. I even say the words, imagine we totally rock your wedding. You have this thumb drive of photos. Now what? Because inevitably, if you let it go to them, gosh, prior to switching to this concept, no one ever printed anything. And so I'm just walking them down a path of really cherishing their photos. Yeah, you're totally right. You have to let them know that there's life beyond getting your thumb drive.
And questions, if you're a portrait photographer, or maybe an engagement shoot, be like, hey, if I got the perfect 5 photos of your family or you two as a couple, where would you like to display those on the wall in your home?
Yep, and absolutely what this does, they, again, like you're saying, they typically never think of this, but just asking a simple question like, where would you like to put these? It gets them in the mind, this is awesome, is it gets them in the mindset of falling in love with their photos before you've even taken them. So by showing print on my website, on our website, and everything we talk about is showing print. So all of a sudden they start envisioning themselves in your photos. And so inevitably when it's all said and done, they like them even more. And so, yeah, that's a huge, great question to start with. Where do you want to put these? What do you want to do with these?
Yeah, that's a great jumping off point with how do we show off print without having to spend thousands of dollars on samples, which you do want to get, right? Not throwing the labs out of the bus, you want to get those, but sometimes you need to update your website and you're like, I don't have $600 to spend on new samples. So if you go into Fundy Designer and design a spec album and spec wall art and spec cards of a past client, and then go into the proofing section and upload a proof that also includes a slideshow. Now you have multiple assets that you've just created. One, in the proofer, you can go and you can export that top-down preview of the album as a JPEG. You can put that on your website and then go into the wall art section because you just auto-designed a bunch of wall art. Find a couple of your favorites, and under the export menu, you can choose export wall previews, and that will give a mock-up of the wall art. And then, so you have these things all done, and then go back and start a new project of maybe your favorite wedding photos. And you can create a studio magazine, which you just held up.
Yep.
Studio magazine. And in the section where it talks about albums, you can import that top-down preview as the album. And then where it talks about wall art, you can import those wall art previews. So you're able to create multiple marketing materials with everything. And then also you have a slideshow of an album and wall art set to music that now you can YouTube or Vimeo and embed in your website for an emotional experience. So
yeah, there's so much
how we showcase.
Yeah, there's just so much to unpack. So everything you're saying, it's funny enough, we didn't talk about this, but I guess I utilize all of that. So when I send a couple some sample galleries, I send them albums. I send them the design proofers so they can turn the page of the book and see a true story. I used to send galleries, but those are daunting. There's hundreds of photos. That's not what I really want to see. And then of course we deliver our photos for the first time to our couples in a slideshow set to music. So gone are those days where you just text them over like a link and they open it up like while they're standing in line at the grocery. Like we sit our clients down, we call it a reveal session, and they, sometimes I'm with them, sometimes it's just by themselves, but we set it to music and they relive their day together. So I use all that stuff for sure. It's amazing and it's totally helped me. Just again, I think the first stage is taking the photos, and then by using Fundy, it's really just maximizing the exposure of the photos. And don't mention vendors. Vendors love this stuff too. Vendors, my wife goes nuts just sending all this to 30 different vendors and they eat it all up for sure.
Yeah. So remember, every album you design, maybe there's wall art, maybe a card, you can instantly create a slideshow and export it or upload it to the proofer, and then you can share that with all of your vendors. You can share it with everybody. They love it, and it sets you apart of, instead of the photo photographer, right? You're the photographer that creates these beautiful heirlooms and albums, etc.
Yeah, it almost sounds too easy, but I would say I have found, especially comparing ourselves to other photographers, it's not that daunting to do this work. It's quite fun. Your couples will love you more for doing this, and it's just a huge commercial for your work and the people you've worked with on the wedding. Anything we've ever asked our couples to do in terms of helping us share or get our photos out there, this has been one of the best things we've done for our business. Is just, I don't know, how would I say it? Just celebrating the photos. It's not so much about look at our work, it's just celebrating everything and all the vendors inside the photos. So yeah, I love that. So I'm excited for V11. I got the intro email because obviously I've been using the previous version, just hand build my albums. And honest truth, I don't actually even offer thank you cards, but I should, because I know our clients are getting them and I don't want them to have to go to some strange weird website and get a crappy print that they've designed. So I'd love to learn how we present more and build our brand through that. So tell me more about how we design.
That brings us to the next section, is design more, right? So you talk about the spending the extra time to design albums and stuff. So what we have done, or our goal, the proof will be in the pudding. Like, you out there using version 11, you can tell us if we have met our goal. But our goal was to bring you to import the images. You can retouch full automated skin retouching, brighten the eyes, get rid of these under eyes that I have right now, brighten the eyes, brighten the teeth, and you can retouch hundreds of photos in literally 1 second. Just click the button, done. Don't have to think about that anymore. And then choose, you want a horizontal album, a square album, you want a cutout cover, you want a metal cover, and then do you want some wall art? Do you want to use the automated designs, or maybe you have your own wall art presets that you like to use, or you can download. We have a ton of wall art collage options that you can download from our design library. And then same with the cards, thank you card, save the date card, maybe it's an engagement session, maybe it's a high school senior session, grad card, and you click the design project from the design wizard, and everything's designed in a few seconds. And when
I'll need to see it to believe it, because it sounds too awesome. But I've always loved how Fundy hooks into my lab, my printing labs, and so I can download their wall art templates and move them around in Fundy. And then it makes a seamless transition from just, I guess it's knocking down all the noise of trying to show your clients something on their wall. Every client, when Beth's talking to clients, every customer or every couple we have, when we tell them you can take a picture of the wall in your home and we can put digital wall art on it, it just opens up their eyes like, oh wow, I never thought that was possible. So it goes along with that initial question we were talking about, where do you want these? And if they're still struggling, say, typically you're gonna have some room in your house for a couple canvas pieces or some dye bond pieces. And so that's something we use basically every conversation we have, whether it's seniors, families, weddings, is that concept of using Fundy to create more wall art, because it's not really on people's radar, I don't think, but they're so gorgeous in the house.
And it depends on where you're at. We live in the Northwest. Nobody would ever get wall art of their actual wedding day, but of their engagement session, 100%, family session, whatever. But where you are in Texas, and I think a lot of part of the South, like those bridal portraits in the wedding dress do go up on the wall a lot of times, right? So this is a great chance to do that. And then let me give you my favorite thing to steal from Vanessa Joy.
Okay, I love her. Go on.
My favorite thing to steal is that she gives free thank you cards to all of her wedding clients, however many they want. And the back of the thank you card just happens to have her logo, website, and phone number on it.
Yeah, of course.
It just happens to be. Yeah. And she has an amazingly high booking rate with all the bridesmaids, right? All the bridesmaids come to her.
Yep. Because they can see how you're there kicking ass all day, sweating your butt off. We're out there dancing with our couples. So yeah, boy, I gotta write this down, because we're already doing the work. Why not just send them there? What's it going to cost you?
And family photos also, or just in the weddings, that can go on the back of the card. And then Mary Ann that attended the wedding, be like, oh, that Seth guy was so nice. They did portraits too. Maybe I'll give him a call.
Yeah. I inevitably get a lot of calls from the already married brothers and sisters of the brides and grooms who have families say, listen, we've never experienced a photographer like you. And obviously they don't. So why don't we get the whole family together? So I do 30-person family photos with grandpa and grandma and the whole family all the time. And of course, in Ohio, the older folks around here, the moms and dads, they definitely love family portraits. They put those on the wall around here. My younger folks, the brides and grooms don't do it 100%. As much. Yeah.
All right. So that's the design more. 5 minutes in and out and design everything, right? And you have a rough draft of everything. Obviously, people want to go in and move some photos around or maybe swap here and there, but the grunt work is done, right?
So how do you present more?
So there's a few different options for presenting more. And the easiest is schedule a Zoom call with your clients. You've already designed the album. Go up into the menu and click Create Slideshow. And my favorite thing to do, if let's say you do your star ratings in Lightroom.
I do.
Star rate 20 to 25 of your favorite images, right? The big wow, the wow shots, right? So you have 25 of those. Create in 2 minutes, you can create a slideshow that is the wow images, then go into the album design. And I believe, nobody's corrected me with this, I believe we're the only software slideshow that you can instantly share an album design and the wall art designs and the images all in one slideshow. And that's the key. Most slideshow software, you can only do images, right? So 25 of the wow images, then go into the album, then go show some wall art, and then show a card and choose Wedding Song 2. For some reason, that's the magic song that's included in your software. Our highest money earners swear that is the highest earning song in their life. Michaela Jade wants that song played at her funeral. It's made her so much money.
I queued it up and it was Back That Ass Up by, I was shocked. I'm kidding.
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, we do this. We export our galleries like this into the slideshows. Then, of course, we translate these into social media pieces.
Yeah.
TikTok, Reels, all that stuff. So our assistant comes over, chooses all the bangers from that we 5-starred in Lightroom that come into Fundy, and of course just export, like you said, 20. I think I usually choose between 40 and 50 photos. But yeah, those are the ones that we want to showcase the wedding days for sure.
So with that slideshow, get the client on a call, start with that slideshow, right? They don't see all the images, they see the highlights and they see the printed work, and then sell the album and the wall art and the cards, right? So that's the first way to showcase. Second way is after they've purchased everything, you can export that slideshow. Michaela Jade actually upsells it. She makes an extra
I'm interested to hear
50K selling that slideshow.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Slideshow for social media. Yeah. And then another way to show more is with the proofer. Right?
Yeah.
The best
now this I use a ton. Yep, this I use a ton.
The best way to use the proofer is post-sale, especially those clients like, yeah, I think I like it, but I'm just not 100% sure. Let's go ahead, process the sale. I'm going to send you a link. You can swap out any photos you want for free. I'll give you 72 hours, and then if you don't have any changes, we'll go to print. If you have any changes, then we'll swap those out for you.
I think this gets them more involved with the build. I find when my couples help me build the album, they're less prone to remove photos because they've said to themselves, they've come together and said, this is a yes. So it's much harder to take it out. And obviously, I guess you and I are old enough to know that they're going to want these photos and not care what it costs like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I know it's tough with our new couples who are 27, they're trying to buy a house, get the album, but it's that kind of educating them that they're going to want these photos. Yeah, we definitely do that. They see their gallery, the proofing gallery all the time of the album, man, for sure.
When you show that slideshow, if you're on a Zoom call or you're in person, just go through and make those changes live in person in Fundy Designer and just solidify it right then and there. The showing more is the slideshow module, being able to show all your designs, the proofer module, being able to share that online, being able to share that even after the sale, and then all of the ways that you can show the printed work. Maybe after they have made the sale, you can export that top down from the proofer to share online. Will and Jane are super excited to get their album. Here's a little preview.
Yeah.
So however we can show more. So I firmly believe that even if you're a new photographer, you can showcase print more before the shoot in your business, if you can design more. Another thing, design more is like, just design a ton of pages. Over design, show it to the client, they'll take out what they don't want, and most likely they're going to upgrade a lot. And then
our slogan on our end is just let them buy. I know a lot of new photographers might be afraid of the term sale or selling. And it sounds like you're a salesman, but in essence, I've just changed my mindset. I'm just showing them all the beautiful events of their day. And sometimes if you let them buy, they will. And that's just been a big thing for sure. Our albums, we get them from Blacksmith, but our albums only hold 100 pages, but I definitely make 120 pages worth of photos. I show them the biggest book. And have been some times, especially the grooms, the tough guy grooms, there have been some times where I go through the book one time and they just say, print it. There's no like gushing, I don't need to see anything more. You've done it. Just print the book. And I'm almost shocked myself. So this number, 50K a year, Fundy, sounds daunting. I got close to that with only 16 weddings. Mind you, I didn't sell any cards. I didn't upsell or I didn't let them buy any slideshows. And my wall art was thin this year.
And you probably didn't do wall art with the engagement shoots as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I didn't do as many engagement shoots. I'm just in a different stage of my career where my wife and I got kids and I'm a coach.
If you did 20 weddings, then you would have hit that number.
Yeah, for sure. So I know people that do 40, 50, 60 weddings. And so now it does take time. So what have people in the Fundy groups, what have they been saying about time? Because this is absolutely the number one excuse I hear from photographers is I don't have time for that. And so what they're saying is I just have to go shoot another wedding. Meanwhile, I'm only shooting weddings.
And I think it's as simple as when you make that shift and you just sit down in person, right? Make that shift of sending people a Calendly link to schedule a Zoom, show that maybe it's going to take 90 minutes, but somebody just posted today, Michael T. David just posted today, money was short, but I hopped on a call with a client and they bought a $3,500 album. And that was a couple hours. So making that mental shift is, I can spend 60 to 90 more minutes with a client on Zoom, showing them everything, and they'll make the investment. And I think if you take that, however many weddings you do, maybe you do 30 weddings a year, So what's that? $1,600 average sale?
Yeah,
And there's
not
your goal.
even. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
your goal. And sometimes you'll hit it, sometimes you'll exceed it, and sometimes you'll fail. But that's okay. It'll average out in the end. And that's the goal this year, is make that 50K or extra 50K. And then it's just like everything else that we do. The first time we do something, we have to remember the first time everybody does anything, we all suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
This episode funny, except this podcast. So yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's daunting because I talk to a lot of young photographers, and I never thought I would be in the stage I am today. I used to, when I was charging $2,000 for a wedding, I would hear photographers say they charged $8,000. I was like, that's just completely impossible. And then now, of course, I have weddings where I've charged 6 or 7 to shoot the day with Beth and I, and then they have a $4,000 album upgrade, and then the mother of the bride also has a $4,000 upgrade, and the mom even thought the first upgrade was like a ridiculous number until she built her album, and it was like, it's the same darn thing. And yes, we've reached $20,000 weddings multiple times, and if you look at our portfolio, we're not some crazy amazing photographer that's much different from you out there. You're welcome to check it out. We do great work, but it's that personal experience and letting your clients just cherish their photos through print, which is how we've completely slayed the game and been around for 13 years.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, just try. You're gonna surprise yourself. Just try it. You're gonna surprise yourself. Go into the Fundy Storyteller group, ask people. The first an album upgrade, how did it go? And everybody's be like, it was awesome. I did $1,700. I did $2,000. Maybe it was only $600 your first time, but 600's better than nothing, and it's a great start. It's a stepping stone.
And it's fun. I get to spend more time with my client. I ask them to review me, which meanwhile, like, we have a zillion reviews on the Knot and Google. It just keeps helping our brands. Like you're saying, when other photographers say I don't have time for this, I just feel bad because they just haven't figured this out yet. They haven't figured out that why not just try to grow your business through the people who already love you. They've already booked you. You've already done a great job. They're in the spending mode because they just got done with their wedding. So instead of trying to book another stranger, is just please the people who already love you. And this has been a winning formula for us. And it looks like I don't work, Fundy. It just doesn't. Today was I don't even know what day it is. Is it Monday? I went to Monday, Pilates. I had a massage. I'm playing basketball tonight for 90 minutes because I just make more money not shooting weddings. And while at the same time letting my clients buy more and loving us even more. So yeah, this Fundy has just completely changed my brand, and I'm just gonna keep saying it for the rest of my life. It's just awesome.
Thanks so much.
So in the end, guys, if you are new to this and you're finally looking to take that next step, go to fundydesigner.com, download the trial, and give this a try. You will love it, I guarantee it.